to where scaling nationwide wholesaling, like just thinking about those logistics is like, fuck me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey guys, before we start, drop a like, follow, and subscribe.
Coming in hard. Welcome to CEO Confessionals, business talk for entrepreneurs, real estate wholesalers, investors, and lenders. From beginners to rising starts to moguls. This is CEO Confessionals with Thomas Heil. CEOs confessing their highs and lows, telling you what it takes to be on top.
Hey guys, welcome to CEO Confessionals. This is Thomas Heil, and today's guest is Stratton Brown from the CEO of Call Magicians. Stratton, thanks for coming on, man.
of course, man. Thanks for having me on, bro.
So Stratton, man, it's been a while, man. Now we're recapping from our interview we did about a year ago. So how's the year been?
The year's been good, bro. I mean, I hit my first six-figure month in January. What else? Business is blowing up like crazy as far as the VA side goes. Wholesale, we're still pushing along. And now I'm looking into, I love where real estate got me, right? But now I'm like, okay, I want to invest into other companies
Okay.
that shoot me off cash, and wholesale will give me money to go into those things, and I'll still buy real estate. But for me, my end all be all, I don't want to be fucking wholesaling houses until I'm 50. You know, like there has to be, I don't want a full scale wholesaling company. I would like to have a big portfolio. I'm really big into e-commerce right now, and then some other email marketing stuff.
So last year you started off in wholesaling, real estate wholesaling, correct?
I started off wholesaling 4 years ago,
Okay.
working for another company.
And with that progression, obviously you want to go expand to different areas of the businesses and multiple companies. What led you to make that decision?
I fucking hate talking to sellers, and I didn't want to. I'm not some massive operation, and I didn't want to have a ton of overhead, right?
Mhm.
To where I'd much rather just attack thin deals and then just take all of that cash, and that cash goes into either self development or real estate. And I was like, I really don't like talking to these sellers. I tried hiring on a sales guy. It didn't work out the way I wanted it to. And so now, like, I'm taking your route, bro. I have a VA who's a leads manager. I make like 3 phone calls a day, two highly qualified people. And now we're looking at, we're looking at 22 owner financed units this month, and I'll probably buy both of them.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
And so, and like, that's cool for me. I still get the tax write offs. I can buy more property. And then if a wholesale deal comes along, we look at it and it makes sense. Let's sell it. If not, I'd much rather just keep them all, like you, bro. Like you're like, I'm more in acquiring mode, and then I'll wholesale if I need cash. But then, right. So the more and more wholesale checks I get, now I'm looking into, like, we're at.
There you go. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome to CEO Confessionals. This is Thomas Heil, and today's guest is Stratton Brown from the CEO of Call Magicians. Stratton, thanks for coming on, man.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me on, bro.
So Stratton, man, it's been a while, man. Now we're recapping from our interview we did about a year ago. So how's the year been?
The year's been good, bro. I hit my first six-figure month in January. What else? Business is blowing up like crazy as far as the VA side goes. Wholesale, we're still pushing along. And now I'm looking into, I love where real estate got me, right? But now I'm like, okay, I want to invest into other companies
Okay.
that shoot me off cash, and wholesale will give me money to go into those things, and I'll still buy real estate. But for me, my end all be all, I don't want to be fucking wholesaling houses until I'm 50. You know, like there has to be, I don't want a full scale wholesaling company.
Mhm.
I would like to have a big portfolio. I'm really big into e-commerce right now, and then some other email marketing stuff.
So last year you started off in wholesaling, real estate wholesaling, correct?
I started off wholesaling 4 years ago,
Okay.
working for another company.
And with that progression, obviously you want to go expand to different areas of the businesses and multiple companies. Uh, what led you make what led you to make that decision?
I fucking hate talking to sellers, and I didn't want to. I'm not some massive operation, and I didn't want to have a ton of overhead, right?
Mhm.
To where I'd much rather just attack thin deals and then just take all of that cash, and that cash goes into either self development or real estate. And I was like, I really don't like talking to these sellers. I tried hiring on a sales guy. It didn't work out the way I wanted it to. And so now, like, I'm taking your route, bro. I have a VA who's a leads manager. I make like 3 phone calls a day, two highly qualified people. And now we're looking at, what are we looking? We're looking at 22 owner financed units this month, and I'll probably buy both of them.
Oh
Right.
wow.
And so, and like, that's cool for me. I still get the tax write offs. I can buy more property. And then if a wholesale deal comes along, we look at it and it makes sense. Let's sell it. If not, I'd much rather just keep them all like you, bro. Like you're like, I'm more in acquiring mode, and then I'll wholesale if I need cash. But then, right. So the more and more wholesale checks I get now, I'm looking into like we just bought another e-commerce store, and we're about to buy another Walmart store. So we'll put us at 4 e-commerce stores. To where
Oh,
like, okay, I like the way that's looking. I think it can give me some like a good amount of cash flow. I want to move my money there. And so wholesale will always be there to shoot me off cash, but I'm not actively sitting and trying to learn to scale a wholesale business to where I haven't seen one be sold yet.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? To where with Call Magicians, I can sell that in 3 years if I want to. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
To
absolutely.
where was it like Rafael Vargas shut down his whole operation, didn't even try and sell it
Yeah.
when everything hit.
And that's one of the things about wholesaling. It's very unique where you can scale the operation, but how do you sell it? How do you package it up? That's one
Right?
of the
How do you package it up? How do you how do you not work in it too?
yeah.
Like so like Nick Perry is an anomaly,
Yeah.
right? So there's a handful of people in our industry who I think have done it really, really well, but it's very few and far between, right? And Nick's been going at this, what, 7 years?
He's been doing it about 7 years.
Right. Like, so Nick's been going at it 7 years. And then what's it called? I have another friend who was the biggest in the Central Valley, and he just turned it off.
Wow.
Like he just kind of does a mentorship, provides them with leads. It's a lot easier. It's a lot scalable. It makes the same amount of money. It's like, all right, bro, like that's much better. To where scaling nationwide wholesaling, like just thinking about those logistics is like, fuck me. You know what I'm saying? Like thinking about all those moving parts, those logistics and everything else, to where with the call center, bro, I can scale that up to multiple 6 figures into 7 figures pretty fast, to where the process is the same and repeatable, and there aren't as many variables that are happening.
Exactly. So you talk about wholesaling, real estate wholesaling, that's a good cash grab. With the market ever shifting, where do you see wholesaling right now and how it will affect your company?
I mean, wholesaling's doing good, bro. And if the market dips, we'll still wholesale. Like
Yeah.
I'll still have something turned on to where I can buy real estate. You know what I'm saying? There's always a way to buy real estate, no matter what you're doing. I don't see it affecting it. And I won't say most, the good business owners will pivot.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned you have multiple businesses now. You're using uh, real estate wholesaling the cash to invest into other businesses, and you're building out a Walmart store and multiple e-commerce stores. What led you to that decision besides hating to talk to sellers?
Um, the cash flow, right? The cash flow, the lower barrier to entry, that was really nice. And so I'd say this month we made like 2K off of one. And then
Okay.
we have two more up and coming stores right now, to where
Okay.
like in the process of getting set up. And then we were gonna buy one with another company. But then I heard some bad news about said company, so we're not going to move forward with them anymore.
Wow. Wow.
But for that, it's a cash flow play for me.
Okay. So you're mainly focused on building cash flow, then also purchasing assets.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in the exact same models. Like real estate wholesaling, what you're really doing is you're giving up equity whenever you sell that property. And yes, a lot of people are saying like you guys sell it at 70, 75% ARV, but you're technically giving up 25, 30% of the actual equity that's in the property, which is also known as your wealth.
Yeah.
So is that one of the reasons why you looked at pivoting just to buying and holding and building that wealth?
Yes and no. I really just sat there and I was like, man, some of those lean months are pretty lean, bud.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have other streams of income, and thank God for affiliates because I make a decent amount of money off of affiliates.
Mm-hmm.
But some lean months are really lean, and wholesale is so. The biggest thing for me is unpredictability.
Yeah.
Like wholesale is just unpredictable.
Yeah.
You can do multiple. You can do multiple deals 1 month, and the next month can be dead dry.
Yeah.
Right. And anyone who tells you they haven't ran into that is lying to you.
Absolutely. I'm actually experiencing that myself right now.
Right. Well, you'll come off a fat month, and then it'll just be a lull, and then like everything builds up again, and then it's another fat month, and then here and there. So my thing was like, well, I like the peace of mind, right? I love getting the big checks, but how can I create a company, one that fits my lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
and still gives me cash flow?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I don't want to be going to properties every day. I'd like to work from wherever I want.
Yeah.
You always say, Stratton, I don't ever know where you are, bro.
Yeah, I did.
You know what I'm saying?
So for the guest, I was planning on visiting Stratton, but I don't know where he's at. He said Utah, Arizona, California. Where are you? It's like, where's Waldo? I look as where's Stratton.
Right. But like for me, you can do it 100% virtual, but then your staff, I didn't like building out my staff to be virtual, having to coordinate with the boots on the ground and everything else. And so I was like, okay, what can be virtual? What can fit around my lifestyle? I can run it from wherever I want to be. And there are no like physical assets that I have to deal with.
Yeah.
Right. Because I have, what's it called? I have my wholesale boots on the ground set up out here in California. But like, say we go into a new market, the headache of doing that just was not appealing to me. And we've tried it, right?
Yeah.
And we've tried going in other markets to buy rentals and finding property managers and doing this and that. That wasn't fun to me either.
Yeah. I remember talking to you a while ago and you mentioned you're looking at going to Indianapolis or Indiana. So how did that
we went to South. So I'm actually wholesaling a deal in Indianapolis right now.
Okay.
But we went to South Bend. I got referred a property manager. And then I flew out there, looked at a couple houses I was going to buy. Get this. So there's a property on Lincoln Way in South Bend.
Uh-huh.
And I had it locked up at a price. I was like, man, this makes complete sense. Like I'm ready to move. Then we go out there, look at it, I'll look in it, and we'll close like that week. And I get there, and Lincoln Way was a main street. And so it was worth like $15,000, $20,000 less than I thought it would be worth. You don't know that unless you're there.
Yeah.
Right. And so then I had to end up backing out of that. And then we're using a friend's property manager. He doesn't tell us, oh, well, the property manager is actually my CPA. I hop on a call with her. She said, oh, yeah, I'm ready to go, blah, blah, blah. And then I have a property I'm trying to look at. I'm like, hey, we're about to pull the trigger on this. What can you rent it out at? What do you think my overall rehab would be? Because she has contractors in-house. And she doesn't even answer her phone. I call her twice that day. I can't trust you with my money and our investors' money that we raised to buy the house if you can't answer your phone.
Exactly.
Right. So I was like, that's a pain. And so instead of that, the biggest thing out of state I'm looking at is self-storage.
Okay.
That would be like the out of state stuff.
So I find that interesting because I'm actually going towards self-storage myself, and I'm actually studying it on the side. So that is actually a direction I'm definitely going to.
Right. And you can niche down. Like I bought a course, I'm a little mastermind for it. And for one, it's a lot less work.
Yeah.
For two, you can have some fat assignment fees if you do decide you don't want to keep one.
Yeah.
Because the deals are bigger. And for three, like keeping them and managing them, because I have a couple rentals here, the tenant base is different. Like I don't have to deal with, I got a phone call from a tenant saying there's domestic violence and they want out of the house and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, like, bro, that's a lot, right? I was like, well, you better call the cops and not go back, for one. I don't got to deal with that with self-storage. Just make sure those teddy bears are taken care of. I want an easy life, and I will do very, very hard things to get an easy life. But I don't want hard things to create a hard life.
What would you say an easy life is?
Work whenever I want. It's a great one, though. I want to work and spend ample time with my family. I only have my son. One thing, I met the conference I met you at in Tampa.
Yeah.
I met that dude out of Toronto or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he only is with his daughter for half of his life because he got a divorce. I'm only with my son 50% of the time.
Okay.
So an easy life for me is being able to capture as much time with him when I have him as possible.
Yeah.
And still making money, right? Like obviously like building the businesses, and I don't want to stop working. I feel like I'd die.
Yeah.
I'd kill myself. Like you know that more than anybody. I feel like you're up to like 4 a.m. every day and then you wake up at 5, like a madman. But like the easy life to me, like I would like to be able to travel and still work. And if I could talk on the phone while I'm surfing, awesome. Like, hold up, bro. Let me catch this wave. I'll answer that question. Give me 5 minutes. Right? Like to where it's a lot more of a nomad instead of being tied to an office and having to answer all these other nonsense, having to answer with all these employees. It's just free, right? I would much rather have a company to where I am paying a really high payroll with same profitability. But imagine having to pay someone $10,000 a month as compared to like you're paying them $3,000 a month. Like imagine the type of professional that you get.
Yeah.
I got this from my mentor. He was like, bro, I don't deal with fucking bullshit. I hire on professionals and I pay them accordingly. So they handle their shit, right? Like I don't deal with a lot of the nonsense because I'm hiring people at a high level.
And that's where a lot of people don't realize either you pay with cash or you pay in pain. Which one do you want? How do you want to pay it? Do you want to pay it in pain or do you want to pay it in cash?
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree with you. Sometimes you just got to pay the price so you don't have to pay the pain.
I mean, every problem is able to be solved if you write a check.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Like every single one. It may be a bigger check. So an easy life to me is being able to write whatever check I need to solve all of my problems and then attack the problems I want to solve, working on those. Problems I don't want to solve, I write a check.
So right now you have a real estate wholesaling company, a e-commerce companies, multiple e-commerce companies, as well as a virtual assistant called Call Magicians, correct?
Yep.
And you have 3 companies actually. How are they all integrated?
Call Magicians funds everything.
Yeah.
Right. So Call Magicians funds the marketing for the wholesale company. The wholesale company funds and lets me go buy more Amazon stores or rentals.
So you built almost a vertical integration.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's exactly the smartest way. And it also keeps you lean and very efficient.
Lean, bro. Like, I sat down, did my KPIs, my cost per deal was way too high.
Yeah.
And then as when I started Call Magicians, really got the things dialed in and everything else. And I looked at my cost per deal and it was like $400, $300. So hell yeah, brother. Like, that's something I can deal with.
Now you're officially an entrepreneur. What do you enjoy the most about being an entrepreneur?
I like the long-term strategy,
Uh-huh.
and like the pivots and the this and that, to where like, and the growth of it,
Mm-hmm.
to where like, okay, how can we scale it, still keep profitability, still keep everybody happy? Like, I like that. And like, just thinking bigger, where can I take it? How can I keep our people happy? Right. And then coming up even with one big thing for us is gifts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we just implemented, anyone who closes a deal off of one of our VAs, we send them a dedicated champagne bottle with our company name on it, saying, thank you so much for doing a deal with us. And it's like legit, it's $100. It's $100 champagne bottle. And we're just like, hey, yeah, if you want to pop in your office, we'd love to see a video of it.
Dude, that's awesome, man. That's a great idea.
Right. And then we have people popping bottles, like it, and it brings life into their company.
Yeah.
Right. Like it brings life into that office. Like, oh man, we got another bottle to pop, boys. Let's pop a bottle.
Yeah.
Right. And it's fun. And that does, like, I like those type of things, to where like you don't really get that in real estate.
No, you don't.
Real estate is straight up transactional, to where we're building relationships with our clients and helping them grow.
Yeah. So those are some of the things that you're giving. So what is the hardest part about it?
I mean, people, bro. Nobody does their fucking job.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I had to go in on some people today because they just kept giving me excuses. But I was like, no, like, this is your job. You just got to do your job. I think it's finding people who do what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it.
Yeah. And that's a problem overseas, stateside. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere, bro. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's not just overseas. It's developing your people, keeping your people happy, dealing with the nonsense. But I'd say the hardest thing for me would be people, and then just cycling through people and finding the perfect fit for the team is where I'm at right now.
And that itself is a challenge, because once you find that perfect person, if you don't keep them really engaged, they get bored. And then once they get bored, they start to slack off. How do you keep your staff, especially your top players, continuously engaged and pushing the needle forward?
I talked to him.
Okay.
Our main VP of operations, like, she was slacking off. I was like, Glenn, are you bored?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, I'm kind of bored. I was like, all right, I got plenty of shit I can throw on your plate. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I talk to at least our management team, right? I have Glenna, Issa, Carol, Judy, JR, and John. And then we're adding on another sales coach.
Uh-huh.
And those are the people I talk to, and like at least get a feel for them with our daily huddles and everything else.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro. What was that question again?
Like, how do you keep them currently engaged when
but yeah, I
sometimes a
ask
lot of
them.
high performers, they get bored,
Yeah.
keeping them uncomfortable? What do you do to
Well,
keep
uncomfortable, and then leaving room in our company for them to grow.
Yeah.
Right? Like, leave it, like, for something for them to strive for. So we were in the process of starting a direct mail company. Right. And so we put someone in charge of that, like, hey, figure all this out.
Mm-hmm.
And then bring it to me. Right. And then that keeps them entertained. They feel like they have responsibility in it, and they know that they can grow, and it'll be more income for them. Right. And they can be an entrepreneur. Right. So they're an entrepreneur inside of our company. That's the number one way I've been able to do it. And we've had Glenna handle some really big things for us. And then we have some of our other people handling some other big things for us.
Awesome. Awesome, man. So Stratton, so you heard this a lot. I'm sure you heard it. What made you decide to leave your comfort zone? And you start off in real estate wholesaling, now call magicians, now e-commerce. What made you decide to start exploring besides hating to talk to people?
I wanted more money.
Okay.
I wanted cash flow. Right. Wholesaling is not going to really give me cash flow. it'll give me big chunks of cash, but we both know humans, and you're going to spend that cash on something that might as well go into something that's going to give me cash flow. And so it was only a matter of time before I started investing in something, because I had a mentor when I first got started. He was like, bro, you need to go broke every time you make any money.
Yeah.
And that's what I still do now. Like if I get a certain amount of cash and I can put it into an e-commerce store or a rental, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So the cash flow is really what made me go into those next steps. I mean, we'll talk off the air about why I started Call Magicians. I got screwed over by a guy in Houston.
Yeah.
And I went through a bunch of other people who couldn't service me. And like at a point in time, bro, I had 8 cold callers to myself.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't service me with good quality. And so I fired them. And then I go to another company. And the same thing happened. And so I was like, bro, fuck it. I'll do it better. I just flat out, I'll do it better. I got a bunch of people hitting me up for VAs. I might as well just do it. I'll just do it better.
That's kind of like the route I had, the same experience as well. And I'm very familiar about the guy that screwed you over. And it is what it is. I personally got screwed over as well. So, yeah. But one of the things that you'll realize, like, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to get burned. It's just the process of growth. As you start discovering what you're doing in business, people take advantage of you. And it's a sad thing. And you're coming from a world of being in the military, working in a major consulting firm with security clearances. Integrity is the pinnacle. And leaving
that's a good point.
Leaving that domain, coming into a world that I'm in, I've been lied, cheated, stole, so many things that I was not even accustomed to. And myself having faith in people and thinking people will treat you the same way as how you treat them. That's not reality.
Well, so my mentor is talking to me about this. He was like, bro, real estate is such a low barrier to entry.
Yeah.
To where you can get absolutely anybody in there.
Mm-hmm.
To where he's like, bro, I want a high barrier to entry, so I don't have to deal with the dipshits.
Yeah.
I deal with business people.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm dealing with people who actually do business.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with people who care about their integrity. And at every level, there's dirty ass people.
Yeah.
But at least you can sift out the dude who lies to you because he's trying to get his first deal done.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and sift like all those little situations that we all hear about every day. And this person doing this and this person doing that. You can somewhat get rid of those if you can find a higher barrier to entry. But still, you're going to take your lumps with everything, dude.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. So one of the reasons why I relaunched this podcast is to let people know, as an entrepreneur, they're the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. Could you provide us a period of time when you hit a really low point as an entrepreneur?
I mean, at the beginning, bro, I had to donate blood twice a week just to get marketing money.
Really?
Oh yeah. At the very beginning, I donated blood twice a week. I was so broke, I sold all of my football gear to pay my rent. What else? I was flipping stuff on Craigslist and OfferUp. I would say that was my lowest point I've ever been at. Oh, actually, no. I got so low that at a point in time, my son's mom moved down to Bakersfield for work.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to drive down to Bakersfield to pick up my son. And I had to drive down there. I had nothing left. I had a deal that was about to close for $30K. This is gonna be like my first big deal. I had to call my mom. This is the first time I'd like asked my mom, like, Mom, I need a certain dollar amount. I was like, Mom, I need $20 to get to Bakersfield to go pick up my son. I drive down there. I get to Bakersfield. I'm like 2 minutes away, and my car ran out of gas.
Wow.
And so I had to call my mom again. Mom, I need another $20. I go, fill up my car and everything else, pick up my son, go home. But I think that was that's the lowest moment I've ever had in my life. Of like, Jesus Christ. But then the next day a deal for $30,000 closed. I'm like, that was a big deal for me. That's more money I've ever made.
So how did you feel at that point,
At what point?
at your lowest point?
Bro, ashamed, embarrassed, right? My mom's the one telling me like, you dumb shit, go get a job. um, bro, it was just hard, like a failure, like all these other things. And I don't think what's it called? The feelings of not doing enough ever go away. I have a mentor who makes several million. And he's like, bro, this shit never stops.
Yeah.
He's like, I've always felt like this. And he's way farther than I am. He's like, bro, this shit's never gonna go away. You need to find a way to live with this. Like, so you will feel good, but at a point, you always feel like you're just getting started, right? Because if you're doing it right, you're surrounding yourself with people who are just striving and going for the better things. You don't want to be the king of the dipshits, stay at home, like, and you're with all your friends and you make six figures and you're the guy. Like, that's not what you want. Like, you didn't get into entrepreneurship to be fucking lower middle class.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that was my lowest point. But then even still now, bro, sometimes I'm just unhappy because we're not doing more. We're not doing enough. We're not doing it fast enough, right? Like, I'm not accomplishing what I want to accomplish as fast as I want to accomplish it. And that's something I have to deal with every day.
Yeah.
To where I feel like nobody really talks about that. Like, just being a straight up grinder and like blissful dissatisfaction, like Ed Milet says, but I'm really just fucking pissed off I'm not doing better. Like, what am I blissful about?
Yeah.
At least for me right now, I'm not anywhere near where I want to be.
And I could definitely resonate with that because I just had a talk with my wife right before this and telling her, like, I felt a little bit down right now. And it's just where the progress is like going. And I left a very lucrative corporate job to start something my own. And even then, I had multiple setbacks. And
Oh yeah.
with those setbacks, I'm still not at the figure where I was. Excuse me for a sec. There you go.
There you
go. Well, yeah. I made a good amount of money, but then I did a really bad flip and lost a lot and still paying for it till today because I still own it and I can't move it. And I'm losing about $400 to $500 a month on that property. Yeah. 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 So I think I'm just going to take a bigger hit by just dumping the property and moving forward. But then there's a couple other things that happened in my company as well. And which also has like one setback after another. Once I start getting traction, it's moving forward, then boom, it goes all the way down for some whatever reason. And as an entrepreneur, I blame myself. I made poor decisions.
Have to.
I trusted. And it's just, yeah, sometimes there's so much you could control, but outside of things, it's difficult to control. But at the end of the day, the only person you have to look at is yourself.
Always.
And as that, just like anything, as an entrepreneur, there's the highest of the highs. So what are your highest of the highs?
I remember I closed like a $30,000 deal in Hawaii. That was pretty cool. I spend all my holidays with my family. I mean, that's really like what I want. Like, I'm in Utah probably 6 months out of the year.
Nice.
And that's my highest, bro. Like, being able to have time freedom and spend time with my family, go snowboarding, take a call for a meeting, and then keep on snowboarding and creating the life I want.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I complain about like I'm not doing enough, but then at the same time, I am happy with the life I've created.
Yeah, absolutely. If you could do anything different, man, what would you have done differently from your journey?
I was thinking about this today, bro. I won't change anything, right? Because it's where I am. I thought about, well, maybe not play football and just get straight into entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
But then football has given me the leadership skills I've developed in order to lead a company of 60 plus people, right?
Yeah. And that's one of the things about, especially with football, it's a huge team sport. Every player matters. And with that, you've definitely taken that to your company, how each player has a major role in whatever they do, correct?
Oh yeah. Well, so now I have to, we're at a rate of growth to where I have to reevaluate like what each person does every week, right? Like you have to like stay on top of it. And I didn't think business moved that fast.
Yeah.
Right. To where like, no, like I got to stay on top of this every week. Like, okay, sit down, reevaluate it. And everyone, and then these level 10 meetings to where in wholesalers like something little to where now I'm talking about, all right, we got to move this and this and put it, implement this and do this and that, to where it's a lot more complex and to where there's a lot more issues that are popping up.
Yeah.
Right. So that is one thing that's happened.
Awesome. Awesome. You mentioned about your mentor. Who'd you look for advice or mentorship?
Who would I go to?
Yeah.
Or
You brought up you had a mentor. Uh,
I got a ton, bro.
okay.
Jason Pritchard, a dude named Mark Evans. So, and Jason Pritchard is one of my good friends. He'll be on my podcast this week.
Awesome.
But I get a call from one of my tenants, and I'm like, I have no idea how to handle this.
Okay.
And pick up my phone, call Jason. Jason, what the hell do I do? This is what happened. And then he just walks me through it step by step. Like your mentor does not have to be someone paid.
Yeah.
But I have given him value in certain ways with VAs, and he's one of our clients for our call center. But I don't just come and pry all the time, right? So either I'm providing value of some type of value, or I'm paying them, right? Because if you try and get a mentor and you don't pay them anything, you don't bring them any deals, you just try and pick their brain. For me, I started charging for anything because it's time I spend away from my family.
Yeah.
And odds are you're not going to even go and execute upon what I've told you to do.
Exactly.
And so like, I love helping people, right? Like I'll help you, bro. If we can change your life and get an extra 100 grand in your pocket, hell yes. But the odds of you going through and pushing through and actually doing what I say to do are very, very slim.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I have all sorts of mentors, bro.
Yeah. One of the things I noticed, like, I'm sure you get a lot of people asking questions, and I get a lot of people asking me questions. And the one thing that really bothers me, and I'm not sure about you, the ask holes, the ask you questions and not do anything.
So it's legitimately like why I charge for it, and like I'll give like little answers here and there,
Yeah,
for people. But I'm like, I think Pace is an amazing human being.
Yeah,
because he deals with the ask holes, and then he finally launched his education platform.
Yeah.
But for me, I really, well, if they ask one question, I'll help them with it. But if I get like blown up, I'll say, hey man, it costs you this much if you want like full on coaching.
Yeah. And
because I don't want to be on my phone the whole time while I'm sitting at home with my son.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why now, personally, I have a Calendly. And if it's like
yes,
QA, anything, I send them the link. And I notice the biggest disqualifier is when they have to make a payment.
When they have to make a payment, well, and even sending them the link, bro, getting them to commit to a link,
yeah,
is a disqualifier.
Yeah.
But with as far as the ask holes, dude, I will give them a little bit, but at a point in time, I have no problem being an asshole.
Yeah.
And like being like, hey man, like if you really want to talk to me about all this stuff, like you're gonna have to pay me.
Yeah.
To me, time's the only thing I don't get back.
Exactly.
Like I can't, no one's creating more time. I don't know of any reverse aging serums, nothing. So if you want my time, you're gonna have to pay me.
Awesome, man. That's great information. So when we have additional guests or tips, people that are listening to this podcast, what advice would you give them?
Never give up. I just never quit, bro. And remember that shit that someone said that pissed you off. Because that at least for me, my dream of what I wanted my life to be, and those motherfuckers telling me I couldn't do it is what drove me.
Awesome.
Right? That person who told you like this isn't gonna work or you're never gonna be shit or whatever.
Okay. So Stratton, you have multiple companies, call magicians. You want to tell everyone about call magicians and what it's about?
Yeah. I talked a little bit about it. We created a call center just due to the demand for it. Right now, there's starting to be a couple more that have popped up that I think are really good. But at a point in time, there was just no good quality call centers for real estate people, real estate investors, real estate agents, period. And so I went out with my partner and I created one. And we service people from all across the country.
Awesome. Do you want to give out your website, Stratton?
Callmagicians.com. Go set up a strategy session with us. And if you guys say you came from this podcast, we'll give you a big discount.
Awesome, guys. All right, guys, check out the link at the bottom and you can check it out. Stratton, thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it, bro.
Thank you, bro.
All right.